PTF and JK back with you on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. We are here to give our updated Preakness Top 5. Thanks so much to everybody out there for supporting this channel. Best way you can do that is subscribe. We're so close to our 12,500 goal. Hopefully this video is going to push us right over the top with your help. And hey, if you like the content, tell us by giving us that thumbs up down there below the video and leave us a comment as well. Who would be number one or on your Preakness Top 5? JK, let's kick this off. We should point out, this is a consensus top 5 between the two of us. We actually only agree on one spot in here. If you go and check out our other video, our final answers video, we're going to break down our thoughts in detail on this year's Preakness. Let's start off with a horse we left on the outside looking in as an honorable mention, River Thames. This is a horse I think you're a little bit more interested in than me. I thought we should just give him a quick sentence.
I thought he ran well enough. I worry about the distance for him, and he's going to have some pace pressure from a couple of horses we'll talk about here in a second.
Well, one of those horses comes in at number 5, one I think you'd have higher than me. Goal-oriented, he's drawn the rail, he's got speed. I just wish the last race had come back a little bit faster, but you make the case why you think goal-oriented is a player in this year's Preakness.
Well, I think he's a player because he's talented, and I think he might be one of the most talented horses in this group. It just might be too much too soon. One of the negatives I have for him is it feels like a plan C for that SF, Starlight, Madikit group that has brought us so many of these talented runners, National Treasure, who won the Preakness, to be one of them. I feel like they probably wanted Cornucopian to win the allowance race a few weeks back, and Aqueduct to run in this race. That didn't go well. I think they probably wanted Rodriguez, the winner of the Wood Memorial. That didn't work out, and it kind of left them with needing to use goal-oriented if they wanted to participate. It's a little bit of a plan C for me, but he is talented enough. I wouldn't be shocked if he won.
Yeah, I don't love the idea that they had stated he wasn't going. Rodriguez was. Rodriguez was number 1 on our first top 5 video. He's out of this video because he ain't running. Number 4 on the list, another piece of news that broke since our last top 5 video. Sandman will be competing, one of the great stories at this year's Derby. I know you and I super impressed with all the eyeballs one of his owners, Griffin Johnson, has brought to the sport. This horse has become a rock star in his own right on TikTok. And he's a super cool horse who has that big back race. As you've mentioned already, speed could set up. This one could come running and get a piece. I feel like this lovely gray deserved a place in the top 5, even if he's not my top pick by any means in this spot. What do you think of Sandman?
My concerns is he's likely going to be a little bit overbet, as he was in the Kentucky Derby. The other situation is, like you mentioned, if the pace does set up for him, doesn't it set up for a horse who I think is definitely better than him in journalism? That would be the biggest issue for me, is the situation that works in his favor also works in the better horse's favor as well. That would be my biggest concern.
Yeah, it can be tricky sometimes in horse racing getting attracted to the second and third best closers. Let's talk about number 3 on this list. This is one I lobbied hard for, JK, and he's not the third most likely winner of this year's Preakness, but he is very interesting to me as a potential betting vehicle underneath in bets like the trifecta, the superfecta, maybe even the exacta. I'm talking about Heart of Honor. Now, you look at this horse's form and you see, hey, second in the UAE Derby, admired Daytona, did nothing for that form in Kentucky. In fact, he ran dead last, but Heart of Honor in the hands of Jamie Osborne just over 10 years ago made a huge splash on these shores with a horse called Toast of New York. He's not coming here for the crabs and beer. He's coming here because he has a horse he thinks can hit the board. I like the fact that they chose this spot rather than the Derby for Heart of Honor. Tells me they're serious about trying to win. I think this horse can come running from the back and be the one to maybe secure one of those underneath spots. Are you buying what I'm selling at all?
Crabs and beer, yeah, that sounds delicious. I don't think this horse can win. I have no problem with your point that he might hit the board and spice up some of those exotics. I just think there's much better horses in here than him to get the win photo taken.
Number 2 on the list is Clever Again. If you look at this horse's past performance cut, it looks an awful lot like a couple of recent winners of this race, Early Voting and Cloud Computing. No, Clever Again hasn't been tested for class the way those two were. They had both been on the board in the Wood Memorial, but this one comes here with a big figure win from Oaklawn Park, and I think he might just be able to get the right trip as the outside most drawn speed. How do you assess the chances of Clever Again?
Well, there's 3 speed horses in here, right? We got Goal-Oriented, American Promise, and Clever Again. Clever Again obviously drew the best out of those horses. I think that the pace will probably be too quick for him, even though he did draw the best. I have a little bit more love for goal oriented because I think he's a little bit more talented, and he could wire them on the inside if everyone lets him go. I think this race likely falls apart. I do agree with you that he has the best draw, but he doesn't have the best situation, I think, in terms of the pace.
It's always tricky. Could get caught chasing, could fall into a perfect spot. I like the way he's finished out his races. We'll see what happens on Saturday. And again, we'll talk about it more in that final answers video. Click over there when you're done watching this. King of the Track is back. Opt in and place a minimum $5 win bet on a single horse in the Preakness Stakes for a share of the $150,000 prize pool if your selection wins. Rewards will be available via easy click to claim. Read all about the King of the Track promotion in the DK Horse app. Download the DK Horse app today and use the promo code ITM. Let's get to the horse who's number one on the list, and this is the one that we totally agree on. We've seen this phenomenon before, JK2, in the Preakness, similar to the Derby, where the long shots aren't quite long enough, and you can get some big value on horses towards the top of the market. Hey, doesn't always work out. There's nowhere to cash my epicenter and mage bets, but I know I got good prices relative to their chances of winning. I think it's going to be the same with Journalism. So happy Connections decided, in fact, to keep him east and send him to Baltimore. What do you think about Journalism?
Look, I thought he was the best horse going into the Kentucky Derby. I think after the Derby, Sovereignty did a lot to say that he was the best horse in that race. I think they're both really darn good. It's unfortunate we won't see Sovereignty in this Preakness. I look forward to seeing him in the Belmont, but I still feel the same way I felt about Journalism going in. He was the best horse in that race. He is the best horse in this race. He doesn't have to deal with a horse like Sovereignty. I think that he will give Michael McCarthy his second Preakness win, and I believe Journalism will win the Preakness.